about to leave, already packing, come with me.
Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel, and today we're going to be traveling back in time to the very first camera that was ever made. And here's the cool part, learning this history can actually help you become a better photographer, so let's get into it. The very first version of a camera was called a camera obscura, which is just a fancy Latin word for darkroom. That's all it is. Imagine a wooden box with a really tiny hole in it on one side. When light passes through that hole, it will project an image upside down on a little plaque on the back side of the box. And artists for hundreds of years have used this method, and even still to this day they still use this method to sketch. But the problem is the image was temporarily, because as soon as the light changed or went away, then it was gone, and you would have to therefore wait. In 1826, a man named Joseph Ni Episi, it's French and I'm sorry if I botched that, he changed everything. What he ended up doing is he coated metal plates with a very sticky, light sensitive material called bitumen. Think of it like black tar, but it would react to the sunlight. And so he would place these plates inside of a camera obscura, and he would aim it out of his window, and he left it there for probably about 8 hours. When the light hit these plates, it would harden the bitumen, and in some of the areas they would be soft. Then he would wash away the soft parts, and what was left was the very first permanent photograph. Now, it wasn't sharp and it wasn't fast, but it worked. And that one photo started everything that we have to this day. A few years later, another man came around named Louis Daguerre, and he took after Joseph's idea and made it even better. He used silver plates polished like a mirror, where he would then expose them to the light and then develop them with mercury vapor. And this is where the dangerous part of photography started to happen. This new process made a sharper image in a fraction of the time, but those photos were called daguerreotypes, and they pretty much became super popular. People would line up to have their portraits taken because for the first time, photography can capture real detail and emotion in quick time. Now, were these times quick? No, you're probably 5 to 10 minutes, and that's why if you ever seen old photos, they used to have chairs where they would sit in to allow them to relax and be extremely still while they were getting their photo taken. So, how did photographers actually use these cameras? Well, they would set them up on a big wooden tripod, and they used big wooden boxes that they would aim at their subject. And then they would open up their shutter, and exposures could last minutes, hours, or even full days, depending on the light and the subject that they were shooting. After that, the plates had to be carefully developed in a darkroom using chemicals to reveal this image. It was a slow, messy, and extremely dangerous because of the chemicals that were being used, but at the time, it was revolutionary. Now, here's why history matters. Back then, every single photographer was extremely precious. It took time, effort, and patience, and you couldn't take 100 shots and then pick the best shot that you want later. You had to slow down, you had to plan, and you had to make every frame count. And that mindset can make you a better photographer today. Even with all the technology we have, the best photos still come from patience and intuition, and understanding light and choosing your composition extremely careful and waiting for that right moment. These are some skills that early photographers had to master and they had to learn. It's not like today where we can go out and shoot, a couple 100,000 photos by 12 if you really want to. So here's a challenge for you. Next time you head out with your camera, think about this. Photography started with a simple dark box and hours of waiting, from an 8-hour exposure to being able to shoot hundreds of photos in seconds. The technology has changed, but the heart of photography hasn't. And it's still about capturing the light and telling a story. And it is what connects all of us to the very first photographer almost 200 years ago. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. If you did enjoy it, please hit that like button, subscribe, and I'll see you in my next video as we travel down the path of the history of photography.
About this